revenue. So how do we think this is going to impact us with the current economic situation? So we're going to go with that one. And then the second was about critics to the new design and we're happy. Yes.
Okay. So let's make sure we get translation for the first one.
Okay.
So there's a translation of an interview that I did in a German newspaper last week that said something to the effect of what you were asking. I want to make sure that the translation here is precise because I think one of the issues with that was that it got somewhat mistranslated.
Okay.
So So Facebook's primary goal is, the mission of the company is to help people share information in order to make the world more open and connected. So in order to do that, the primary thing that we're trying to do at this point is just spread Facebook so that everyone across the world can use it. You know, people in different languages and different countries using it to share different things, photos, videos, links to things on the web, messages that they post, anything. So we just hit this milestone recently where we had 100 million people on Facebook for the it's been growing really quickly. And that's a big milestone for us, but in a lot of ways it's also just the beginning. So there's still a lot of growth left. There are probably hundreds of millions of more people who could use Facebook, if not billions. And what we want to do over the next few years is make sure that we can make Facebook available to all those people. So that's the first thing that we're focused on. At the same time, while we're doing that, it's really important that we build a sustainable business in order to be able to do that, right? Because having over 100 million people use the service is expensive to run. We want to have really good people working for the company. We want to make sure that if the company succeeds, they're financially rewarded. So I don't want to downplay the importance of building a good business here either, because that's obviously really important in order to continue growing and just building a long-term institution. So right now, we have a pretty good ad business, right? We have a few different ways that people can advertise. People can either come self-service to the site and just purchase ads, and there are 100,000 or more advertisers who do that. We also work with a lot of the biggest brands to do direct sales and brand advertising, and more than 2/3 of the 100 largest advertisers in the U.S. are our partners in doing that. So in both of those different channels, we are also focusing quite a bit on advertising and just building that business as well. So even though I say that spreading Facebook and getting to the next 100 million people is definitely the most important thing for us, and the mission of the company is to just help all these people share information, building a good business is also just a really important part of that. So I think that when I gave that last interview, that got lost a little bit, and I think some of the people said, oh, because we're going to be focused on growth for the next 3 years, what that really means is we're not going to have a business model or we're not going to care about revenue for the next 3 years. And that's not really correct, just because we already have a pretty good business and it's growing very quickly. We spend a lot of time just innovating, building different ad products and focusing on that as well. So that, I think, is just important to clear that up. In terms of the economy and the current crisis, I think we'll have to see how it plays out, but any large-scale economic situation is going to impact everyone, right? So I think sometimes different companies try to say that a recession won't affect them, but I basically think a recession will affect everyone. So I'm sure it'll hit us in some way, but that said, I think as a private company, we're less at the whims of the public markets and people and companies that basically, than a company that has their stock being traded every day and would see their stock going up and down depending on what people thought was going on at that time. So that's one of the advantages of being private, I think, during an environment like this. So even though I'm sure it'll affect us in some way, and if the current situation continues in the way it looks like it will, then it could be a tough few years for a lot of different companies. I think we're pretty confident just by what we're focused on and the way our advertising is working so far that we'll be able to do pretty well here. That was the first question.
Okay. Bueno,